Hey guys, it's your boy Wolfie. Now I've been having a lot of fun with GodFall, so I'm putting out another video. This video is going to solve two problems for people. The first problem, I keep hearing people complain about not having enough Electrum. They're complaining on reviews, YouTube comments, Twitch comments, whatever it may be. I'm seeing it all over the place. People keep saying, I wish I was able to farm hunts and the hunt scaled up so I could have some place to farm Electrum. Because Dreamstones cost more Electrum than they reward you. They already gave us a place to farm Electrum. You're supposed to farm Electrum in the tower. The tower gives you Electrum, which allows you to do Dreamstones and upgrade gear, while Dreamstones give you specific materials to upgrade gear and gives you the tokens to get into the tower. It's supposed to be a loop where you're supposed to do both. Now, whether that's a good end game or not is completely up for debate, and that's not what we're here for today. I'm here to solve this issue for you. What people are probably going to run into is that using the same build that you're using to do Dreamstones isn't going to work that well for Tower because they're trying to do two different things. When you're in the Dreamstones, you're trying to kill the boss as fast as you possibly can. You're probably using the time stop hammer and just wailing on bosses and trying to kill them before they go into phases, before they run away from you. Whatever it may be that they do to kill you, you're trying to kill them before they can do that. And you're trying to get loot as fast as you can because the more loot you can get, the better chance you have of it being a good piece of gear. So, with that in mind, the tower is not the same environment. The tower is hordes and hordes of enemies. So, I'm going to show you what I do to deal with this. Basically, you have to focus on survivability. You have to take a little bit off the pedal for DPS and try to get a little more sustain and survivability. All right, so we're going to go into my build and I'm going to show you guys what I do. Mind you, my build isn't the end all be all. I don't have the best build in the world. I don't even have the dream gear that I want. But even then, I get between 30 and 40 floor on the tower on average. I can get to 60 if I really try, or if I have good rolls based on the day. But I get around 30 to 40 on average because that's just what my build does. Honestly, I only really want to go to 30 or 40 because anything after that takes too long to kill the enemies anyway, and it's no longer an efficient farm for Electrum for me because it just takes too long per floor to kill everything. So, without further ado, we're going to go into this build real quick. The reason I'm using Typhon, right, is because I do water damage. When your weapon does water damage, this means your weapon technique, everything does water damage. Not only your auto attacks, but everything you do is water damage. So I went with Typhon. Partially because he has good augments. Well, she has good augments, but I wanted the chill effect too because his weapon is awesome. Gaining shield charge per crit is great because I crit all the time. I have high crit chances, you're going to see. So that allows me to deal with shield users really well, which you're going to run into a lot in the Tower of Trials. Second, when I hit a weak point, this is good against bosses too, by the way, it deals a couple thousand damage with a 50% chance to inflict chill, not only the target that you're hitting and everybody around it, which is great because we do have damage when enemies are chilled. This is just another modifier that you're going to be using. So this has passive high chill chance, and it does water damage, and it has a proc that does water damage. That's awesome. Clearly we have the time slow hammer. There's no, obviously, right? But this was the big thing that changed my build, right? This is just the best amulet I got. I don't have a better amulet. That being said, the Spirit Warrior ally is awesome. He is great. He helps a ton. He's another target that's there that the enemies can focus. This has saved me more times than I can count. And he is actually useful. He'll knock people down. He'll interrupt abilities. He'll tank damage forever. He's great. He's awesome. This is not a bad amulet. There's another one that I want that I'm still looking for. Not gonna talk about it yet, but this one is good for the meantime. This is another high DPS charm. There's better than it for survivability, but this is just a lot of damage, and I'm trying to kill things as fast as I possibly can. If you can find a sustain one, by all means use that one, but this is the one I'm using right now. It's also pretty good because it gives you a chance to proc bleed because it does physical damage, which is great when you have things like this skill right here, which gives you damage per ailment on enemy, which is fantastic. It'll up your water damage while also doing all the other stuff, right? So I like this, even though there's probably better. What I'm trying to say is my build isn't the best. I don't have the best items, but I make it work. Now, this is actually perfect for my build. Not only do we get good rolls on it, but it exposes weak points for a longer time when enemies are chilled. As you've seen from the weapon, I'm proccing chill a lot on multiple enemies. Not only do the enemies in the tower usually expose their weakness by either getting parried or dodged or whatever it may be, this just makes it so that I can wail on them even longer and proc even more chill on everybody else. It's great. Perfect item for this setup, not a perfect item for other people. This one I'm pretty much using purely for the stats. The actual primary isn't that good. There's way better primaries than this. I know there's one that gives you a weapon technique per crit or weak point hit, which is way better than this. And I know that there's like lifesteal ones for not only this, but the amulet that are better in slot. But this is the best I got for now, so this is what I use. Do not sleep on these weapon technique passives or Archon Fury passives. They actually charge up really fast, and I highly recommend them. Clearly is the best life stone. There's no other way around it. It's just the best life stone. Critical hit chance and crit damage. Just this is another burst window. Whenever you pop it, it's huge. Take advantage of it. Take a little damage before you pop your bubble and just blow up a boss like it's nothing. Same thing with the banner. Awesome. Does a lot of damage. Probably the best banner in the game. This is a purple banner you have to upgrade yourself. You won't find a legendary version of this, but this is really good. Now, this is the real part where your build takes place. This is the real part where your Valor plate has its own uniqueness because every Valor plate has a different augment tree and different placement for stuff, which can change your DPS and build a ton. Luckily for us, Typhon has a pretty good augment tree, so we hit the lotto with the water weapon, right? Now, this build is specifically for tower. This is not the best for fighting bosses, even though it can definitely fight bosses with ease. This is specifically for tower. And the main reason is because I'm using the 30-point augment on the Sunburst augment, which is basically lifesteal for every hit based on my vitality on the adjacent augments, right? So it gets me to use 3 different augments that have vitality on them, whether it's from the master work or from just the augment itself. Right? Cool. This makes a huge difference. It sounds like it's a little bit like it's only 42, but it makes a big difference when you add it to everything else. It's huge. It started keeping me alive. I noticed that I wasn't really getting use out of the weak point one that everybody likes to use so much, that when you use a northern technique, it shows their weakness for a bit and you have extra damage to weak points. Yes, that helps with blowing up a single target, but I wasn't using the northern technique that much, partially because I'm using longsword and partially because when you're in the tower, they expose their weakness all the time anyway. You have to parry constantly because there's tons of enemies coming at you, and you can't just swing outright. You gotta parry, you gotta stun, and every time you parry, you get to swing at a weak point. So I didn't feel the need to use it. I put this on instead. Is this the best one? No, but it's the best one that I could possibly have for me when it comes to sustain. Loved it. Put it on. It also works really well because you have to use this augment in every build that you ever do. Gain 63 over health every time you perform a critical health hit. This heals you so much. It heals you so much. So this compound with this helps me not only refill my current health bar, but refill my second health bar. It is massive. Along with this one over here, whenever you defeat an enemy, you get 58 over health. So as these three augments alone are my sustain. And this is just because those are the three sustain augments that I have. There are more, and you should definitely use them if you have them. But I didn't have other ones with proper side stats. Now, if you also look, they also, every single one of these have water damage. Every one of them has water damage. Not only are they all going for specific things, right? This is my sustain. This is that extra weapon technique damage. This is huge. Remember I told you we're parrying a lot? So I'm using this. This is more HP. Again, trying to stay alive, right? This is great because I'm inflicting chill, so it's just a free 35% damage. And if I, on the chance, get that bleed on them too, I'm doing 70% damage instead of just 35. It's huge. And again, notice how all of these, all of them have water damage. Again, since I'm using a water weapon, this not only increases my swings, it increases my weapon technique damage, and increases my Archon's Fury damage. This is great. It also increases weak point damage because your weak point damage is still water damage. And the water damage is increasing the damage I do with the burst effect on my weapon, and it also counts for the burst effect on the weak point. This shockwave weak point damage is your weapon damage. So for me, this is water damage. So I'm getting two explosions at the same time. It just works really well together, right? Outside of that, I'm pretty much just filling up space. This was a good one. I like Spirit. I'm using my weapon technique a lot. This is awesome. Infusion every single time I use my Lifestone. Great. We love buffs. Right? Critical hit damage during Rampage. Again, you're always in Rampage. It's just extra damage on top of it. I like to play Glass Cannon with my friends. I'm usually the main DPS, and my other friends play the support characters. That's kind of just how we roll. So I focus a lot on damage. Basically, what I'm trying to say is this isn't the only build you can do, and this isn't the only Valor plate that's good. There are other Valor plates that are probably better, and you guys can probably find a better setup for this than what I have. All I'm showing you is an option that you guys can go for to aim for to get your goal done. Basically, long story short, too long didn't read. You have to do damage to clear things, but if you're not alive, you do 0 damage. If you want to get through the tower and farm as much Electrum as possible, get some sustain. You don't need a lot of it, but get some sustain. It'll mean the huge difference. And if I were to have anything to fix this build to be better than what it is right now, I would get some more like health per hit or health per weak hit, and I'd get more resistances. That's it. That's what I would do. That is how I would improve my build. More resistances and more sustain, and that would get me to higher levels in the Tower of Trials. So that's pretty much it, man. I hope this helps. I hope now you guys are going to be able to go in there, farm some Tower of Trials, and get some Electrum. You know what I'm saying? To get more of those Dreamstones, get better gear, play with your friends, and show off. All right? Little tip and trick. Look for items with procs on them because procs are crazy. They scale with your damage, and they can proc all the other good stuff. They're awesome. These proc items are legitimately probably the best in the game in terms of damage. They're really good. If I had a water version of this, anyway. Thank you guys very much for watching. For those who watched all the way through, if you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button. hit that notification bell, smash that like button, and drop a comment in the bottom. Let me know how you feel, if it's helped you got any questions. If you don't want to ask in the comments and you'd rather ask on stream, I stream on Twitch 6 days a week from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. Or you can at me on Twitter. Either way, thank you guys very much. You guys have been awesome. Deuces!